Hello and welcome to Fast and Factual. My name is Utsaf Parekh and here are the top stories of the day. US President Donald Trump has announced 25% tariffs on cars and auto parts imported to his country. The duties on imported cars will come into effect from the 2nd of April. Tariffs on auto parts are expected in May or later. Trump says the move will generate jobs and attract more foreign investment in the US. A number of countries have responded to the Trump administration's duties on cars. Canada's Prime Minister Mark Carney promised to protect his country from the, quote, direct attack on workers. Brazil's President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said his nation cannot stand still in the face of US action. Meanwhile, Japan's Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba said that Tokyo will put all options on the table to deal with Trump's decision. And South Korea has announced preparations for an emergency plan against the US tariffs. Trump has reiterated his stance on taking over Greenland. He said the annexation of Greenland is critical to US national security and international safety. He claims that the world needs the US to have the island. Meanwhile, US Second Lady Usha Vance's Greenland trip has been cut short. The decision comes amid major backlash from the island and Denmark. She will neither visit the Greenlandic capital Nuuk nor attend the cultural events she was supposed to. She will only visit the American Pitufik Space Base tomorrow. She will go there with her husband, US Vice President J.D. Vance. French President Emmanuel Macron is hosting European leaders and his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky in Paris. The summit is aimed at boosting Ukrainian security ahead of a potential ceasefire with Russia. France has committed another $2 billion in military aid for Ukraine ahead of the talks. US forces struck Houthi-controlled areas around Yemen's capital Sana'a yesterday. Houthi-run media reported that the airstrikes were concentrated in the north and south of Sana'a. The US has ramped up its operations against the Houthis in response to their renewed attacks in the Red Sea. The Israeli army struck alleged terror targets in Gaza yesterday and released footage of the strikes. The Israeli forces said they struck Gazan sites launching projectiles towards their country. The attack was allegedly retaliation for a Hamas strike that triggered air raid sirens in Israel. Meanwhile, thousands of Israelis gathered in Jerusalem yesterday for an anti-government protest. The protesters rallied outside the Israeli parliament and near Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's house. The demonstrators demanded elections and the return of the remaining hostages in Gaza. Israel's former defense minister Benny Gantz was also spotted at the protest. North Korea says it has tested kamikaze drones with artificial intelligence technology. Kim Jong Un oversaw the test. He ordered his forces to make AI capabilities and unmanned technology a top priority. Images released by North Korean state media showed the drones striking targets during the trial. Sudan's army has taken control of the capital, Khartoum. The army has wrested Khartoum from the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, or RSF. To display his control over the capital, Sudan's army chief, Abdel Fattah al-Burhan, was shown touring the presidential palace. According to the army, Burhan's flight was the first to land in Khartoum since the outbreak of the Sudan civil war. Moving to climate news, South Korea is grappling with its most devastating wildfires on record. The blazes have doubled in size overnight. At least 26 fatalities have been reported so far. The flames have scorched more than 33,000 hectares of land. South Korea's acting president, Han Duck-soo, has called the situation critical. In the US, some residents of North and South Carolina are fleeing their homes as wildfires rage through the Blue Ridge Mountains. Local authorities have issued evacuation orders for parts of South Carolina. Firefighters are battling flames intensified by dry and windy weather. War-torn Ukraine has also experienced its worst year for wildfires in over 3 decades. Reports say that frontline shelling because of the ongoing war with Russia triggered a record number of fires. Satellite data showed that about 9,000 fires took place. They burned nearly 965,000 hectares of land in 2024. Much of the destruction occurred in Ukraine's eastern regions near active combat zones. Bolivia has declared a state of emergency. Torrential rains have fueled devastating floods and claimed 51 lives since November. The floods have impacted over 300,000 families. Bolivia's president, Luis Arce, said that the emergency declaration will expedite rescue operations and equipment purchases. Bolivia's rainy season, which runs until April, has been worsening due to climate change. Researchers at a German sewage treatment plant have made a groundbreaking discovery. They are now converting biogas into e-methanol. This is a climate-neutral fuel which can be used in the shipping industry. The German facility uses hydrogen to transform carbon dioxide from biogas into e-methanol. Current production is limited to around 50 kilograms per day, but scientists say that the potential demand for this sustainable fuel is virtually limitless. Moving to business and tech news, some of the world's top-selling car makers saw a sharp sell-off yesterday. Japan's Toyota, Honda and Nissan reported declines in their share prices. The shares of General Motors dropped by roughly 3%. The losses came after Trump's latest tariff announcement on auto imports. Other companies who felt the heat were Ford and Kia Motors. Indian and American officials have started bilateral trade negotiations. The discussions are taking place in the Indian capital, New Delhi. They will conclude on Saturday. Both countries are aiming to establish a bilateral trade agreement. The talks come ahead of Trump's reciprocal tariff plan on several countries. India is among the countries facing the tariffs. They will take effect on the 2nd of April. Trump has said he may consider tariff cuts on China if it leads to the sale of TikTok. He is also willing to extend the divestment deadline given a non-Chinese buyer of the application is finalized. TikTok's Chinese parent company ByteDance must sell the app by the 5th of April. If it fails to, then TikTok will be banned in the US for national security issues. US-based healthcare giant UnitedHealth has removed most mentions of diversity, equity and inclusion from its website. The DEI web pages were not loading and showed a page not found error. A new section called The Culture of Belonging was added instead. However, that section doesn't include the company's previously mentioned diversity policies. The US has cancelled $12 billion in federal grants meant for state health programs. These grants were given to states during COVID-19. The government argues that the pandemic is over and the funding is no longer needed. States like California, New York and Illinois may see job cuts in health departments. Swedish fashion giant H&M was off to a sluggish start to the financial year. The company reported poor sales, missing analyst expectations. H&M's first quarter sales reached only $5.5 billion. It was just a 2% rise compared to the same period last year. Chagee, a Chinese premium tea chain, is going public. It has filed for an initial public offering to enter US markets. Chagee is planning to trade on NASDAQ under the symbol CHA. The firm's revenue nearly tripled in 2024 and reached $1.71 billion. Social media platform X, formerly known as Twitter, is poised to report an ad revenue growth for the first time since Elon Musk acquired it in 2022. US ad sales are expected to reach $1.31 billion in 2025. This is a 17.5% rise compared to the previous year. Meanwhile, global revenue is projected to grow by 16.5% to $2.26 billion. Alibaba Cloud, the cloud computing division of the Chinese tech giant Alibaba Group, has launched a new artificial intelligence model. It can handle inputs in the form of texts, images, audios, and videos. The new model is named Qwen 2.5 Omni 7B. It's part of the Chinese tech giant's larger Qwen series, which includes over 100 different AI models. Chip-making giant NVIDIA is reportedly in talks to acquire Lepton AI. Lepton AI is a server rental startup that uses NVIDIA's AI-powered chips. NVIDIA is aiming to enter this GPU reselling space. Reports say that the deal is worth several $100 million. Turkey's competition board has opened a probe into Apple and several other local companies. All of them have been accused of controlling reseller prices. Apple and others allegedly pressured resellers to sell products at specific prices. Such actions violate market competition laws. Turkey is also investigating Netflix for potential unfair business practices. Now we move to sports. We start with cricket. Kolkata beat Rajasthan by 8 wickets in the 6th match of the ongoing Indian Premier League. After winning the toss, Kolkata decided to bowl first and restricted Rajasthan to 151 runs. Kolkata chased down the total with 15 balls remaining, powered by Quinton de Kock's 97-run knock of just 61 balls. New Zealand beat Pakistan by 8 wickets in the 5th and final T20 international of their ongoing series. After winning the toss, hosts New Zealand chose to bowl first and restricted the visitors to just 128 runs. New Zealand chased down the total in just 10 overs, powered by Tim Seiferd's 97-run knock of just 38 balls. With this, New Zealand claimed the T20 international series 4-1. The Afghanistan Cricket Board inked a 5-year destination support agreement with Abu Dhabi Cricket and Sports Hub. With this, Abu Dhabi will remain Afghanistan's home venue for the next 5 years. Due to a worrying state of security back home in Taliban-ruled Afghanistan, the emerging Asian cricket power cannot host their games in their own country of origin. In football, Australia beat China 2-0 in FIFA World Cup qualifiers. Jackson Irvine scored the opening goal in the 16th minute. Nishan Velupillay extended Australia's lead to 2-0 shortly after, in what ended up being the final scoreline by the end of the game. Australia have now edged even closer to qualifying for the 2026 FIFA Men's World Cup. Spain's head of World Cup 2030 Organization Committee resigned from her post. The resignation came after Maria Tato was accused of fixing the process to decide which stadiums would host matches. Tato was accused of favoring San Sebastian City at the expense of Spain's Balaidos. Diego Maradona's ex-bodyguard, Julio Cesar Correa, was arrested for allegedly lying in the trial of the medical team that was in charge of the Argentine legend's health. 7 healthcare professionals are on trial in an Argentinian court. They're accused of negligence in the run-up to Maradona's death in November 2020. In tennis, women's world number 2 Iga Świątek crashed out of the Miami Open. The Pole was beaten by Alexandra Ayala from the Philippines in the quarterfinals. She won 6-2, 7-5. The 19-year-old Filipino, ranked 140th in the world, became the first from her country to reach the Final Four of a WTA 1000 event. Men's world number 2 Alexander Zverev also crashed out of the Miami Open. The German was beaten by his French rival and world number 18, Arthur Fields, a 3-6, 6-3, 6-4 in their round of 16 clash. Fields will meet the Czech Republic's Jakub Mensik in the quarterfinals. Britain's top-seeded star Emma Raducanu crashed out of the Miami Open as well. The women's world number 60 was beaten by world number 4 Jessica Pegula in the quarters. The American beat her British rival 6-4, 7-6, 6-2 to seal her spot in the semis. The Boxing Federation of India postponed the its election, which was scheduled for March 28. The boxing body said it's impossible to complete the process within the originally planned timelines. This was after the Delhi and Himachal Pradesh High Courts directed that the body reinstate people previously omitted from the Electoral College. In entertainment news, Netflix is officially moving forward with a live-action Scooby-Doo series, greenlighting an 8-episode run first reported in April 2024 as a script-to-series project. The show will offer a modern twist on the classic mystery-solving gang. It'll delve into how Mystery Inc. first came together. Marvel has assembled its star-studded lineup for Avengers Doomsday, unveiling the full cast during a live stream event. Returning actors include Chris Hemsworth, Anthony Mackie, and Danny Ramirez. In a major twist, Robert Downey Jr. will return, not as Iron Man, but as the film's villain, Dr. Doom. Joe Jonas has officially rescheduled his solo album Music for People Who Believe in Love. It is now set to drop on the 23rd of May. Originally slated for an October 2024 release, Jonas confirmed the new date via Instagram, showcasing the vinyl edition. The album, described as a celebration of gratitude, hope and love, reflects on his experiences as a father and musician. Pop star Chappelle Roan has revealed that she's in a serious relationship. She shared in an interview that she's deeply in love with her partner of 6 months. Ironically, Roan's admission came while she was discussing the benefits of single life. She emphasized that while she remains an advocate for self-discovery and independence, she's now found happiness in a committed relationship. That's all for this episode of Fast and Factual. Thank you for watching and stay tuned to First Post.